Good evening, and welcome to tonight's board meeting of the Fort Wayne Community School Board of School Trustees. We begin this meeting, as we do each meeting, with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now we have roll call of members.
Good evening, Steve Corona from the 5th District.
Antoinette Payne, District 4.
Julie Hollingsworth, District 1.
Noah Smith, District 3.
Jennifer Mathias, District 2.
Ann Duff, Member at Large.
And to my left, we have Dr. Mark Daniels, Superintendent, Fort Wayne Community Schools, Angie Filler, Clerk of the Board, and I'm Maria Norman, also a Member at Large. This evening, we start with awards and recognition, and we start with National Merit Scholars. National Merit Scholarship semifinalist, I'm sorry. It is recommended that the board recognize Snyder High School's Hayden, is it Yoakum? Yes, thank you. Okay, good. Who has been named the 24-25 semifinalist in the National Merit Scholarship Competition. Each year, the College Entrance Examination Board recognizes exceptional students from the more than 1 million students who take the preliminary SAT National Merit Scholarship qualifying test in their junior year. Students were also selected based on academic performance. Semifinalists must have an outstanding academic record throughout high school, be endorsed and recommended by a high school official, write an essay, and earn SAT or ACT scores that confirm the student's earlier performance on the qualifying test. Hayden is up here. Congratulations. Principal Chad Hissong. Congratulations, Hayden. Job well done. All right, next up we have the Indiana State Jazz Band, Snyder and Northside. This year, 8 students were chosen from across the state to be a part of the Indiana State Jazz Band, and 3 of these students were from FWCS. The students had the opportunity to showcase their musical talents at the Jazz Kitchen in Indianapolis on September 21st, 2024. Please come forward as your name is being called so that we can recognize you. Braxton Headley, bass current sophomore at Snyder High School. Vincent Hood, Vibes 2024 graduate of Snyder High School. Liam Campbell Carpenter, pianist, 2024 graduate of Northside High School. Liam is unable to join us tonight as he is currently attending the Jacobs School of Music at Indiana University, Bloomington. So congratulations, Braxton and Vincent. All right, Braxton and Liam, you both got all dressed up nice, so we're going to have you come to the podium and tell us about your experience.
Vincent.
Oh, sorry, Vincent, Braxton. We wouldn't want you to waste a good outfit.
You got to go to the podium.
What do I need to say?
Braxton's like, I'm out.
He'll ask a question.
I'll go ask
Can
questions.
you tell us about your experience in Indianapolis?
Yes, it was a very good experience, and we played at the Jazz Kitchen. We played a few standards and stuff. It was a really nice experience.
Okay. What is the kitchen? Sorry, I don't
It's
know.
one of the best jazz kitchens. Well, the best jazz clubs in the state and in the country.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Is that something that you all applied for? Or?
We applied. We tried out for All-State Big Band last year, and we played in January of last year. Well, this year still. And then we came back and played in September at the All-State Combo.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
How many kids were involved?
It was probably like 9, I think.
9 total?
Yeah, 9 total.
And the third was from Fort Wayne?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Fort Wayne Jazz.
Vince, they brought you back even though you graduated?
Yeah.
What was that
awesome.
experience like for you?
It was definitely very rewarding. I've gotten to play around with Allstate before, and definitely with the combo experience, this is just like putting us in like real live experience at the Jazz Club. We've played at the Embassy in years prior and the Palladium down in Indianapolis. So it's just this program has really given us a lot of opportunity to experience jazz and what music really is.
So you gonna miss playing with Braxton?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh.
But we're in a combo, so we're also playing outside of school.
We got a gig this weekend, actually.
Where at?
A wedding.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good.
What-
A wedding.
Any
Yeah.
other ones open to the public? You wanna broadcast and tell us about it?
But if y'all have any, then we'll play them.
Yeah.
I actually had Liam play at my daughter's wedding,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm pretty well, I've kept an eye on all of you, so congratulations, that's very exciting.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you. Any other questions for? Nope.
Well, Vincent, since you're a graduate, so what are you doing now?
Right now I'm at IU Fort Wayne for nursing,
Okay.
but I still am keeping music in my life. I mean, it's given me a lot of opportunity and has been an escape for a long time. So as I pursue nursing to give back to people medically, I still love music. I think it's also another form that people use a lot for healing. So both those avenues are really mean a lot to me.
Great, great.
Yeah.
Good luck to you both.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats.
Best
Thank you for
wishes.
coming back.
Okay, next up, we have the Adult Education Program recognition. On September 10th, 2024, the FWCS Adult Education Program earned the designation as an Indiana Adult Education Program of Excellence for the most recent program year, 23-24. The Indiana Department of Workforce Development created the Programs of Excellence Award to recognize adult education programs that exceed state goals and expectations in multiple areas of performance and serve as a model provider for adult education services in Indiana. Lonnie Heck, Continuing Education Manager, is here to represent the department. Hello, Lonnie. Is there an award? No.
Just comes up here and take a picture.
Lonnie, please come up and have your picture taken with Dr. Daniel. Congratulations. Yes. Well, thank you for being here. Congratulations. Was there any particular program that sort of stood out at the top, or was a cumulative of all of our adult education programs?
For us, it's always a toss-up between our adults earning a diploma in English. This award comes via, you have to grow enrollment and you have to hit your diploma target. So that's both programs. And our enrollment is really growing through adults learning English. So that's kind of how we hit the enrollment mark. And then diplomas, over 215 earned that out of roughly 500-600 people pursuing that path. So they all are great, and they all contribute in various ways to meet those two goals. So, yeah.
Cool.
I love your ceremony, and I've been able to be present for the last couple of years. And your students are not being forced to return. They are voluntarily there to complete their degree requirements. What prompts them to be there?
Oh, that's many stories, I think. I think a lot of it is just that I want to complete something. I don't want that it's hanging over my head. I don't know if they would put it in quite those words, but they have a loved one, they just have a job that they want to pursue, and it's holding them back. And it's that drive to just say, you know what, I'm not going to let this hold me back anymore. And we have a phenomenal staff. I'm blessed. You guys, they're great, and they connect with people so that it's not a barrier anymore. But I think their stories are as varied as the people that come. But I think that's the main one. Just I want to finish
the stories
this.
your graduates share.
They're great. Yeah, I love them too.
So you're serving almost 500 or 600 adults?
Yeah, so we met last year from July 1 to June 30th, 1,070 people came through. And it skews toward the adults learning English a little higher, but it's roughly 50-50. And we're 100 ahead-ish so far this year. So we've heard.
Pace to exceed 1,100?
We're trying. That's the goal, 1,120. That's what I got to get to.
How long a program then is it all year long, or is it?
So for adults getting their diploma, it could be as fast as 4 days to months, years. We tell people it's usually 2 to 3 months if you really commit. Adults learning English, it's at least a year commitment. We test them 4 times a year per the grant and for goals, but most of them, they're with us about a year, and then there's 3 levels of learning English. So diploma people are in and out. Adults learning English are with us a good year or more.
What allows someone to get it done as quickly as 4 days? Did they miss their last year of high school or a couple classes? Or?
Sometimes it's that we're still fresh. It's really based on our pre-assessments we have to give, and they just show a readiness. They were paying attention. They were, and they just have a lot of aptitude, and so there's no need to really revisit all the things that might be on the test. We just brush up some things, and they just knock it out. So they just have an aptitude and readiness.
Right.
Yeah.
And where do people find you?
We are in the Anthus building, 2nd floor. You can go to FWCS adulteducation.us, and we're on Facebook, and just ask around. It's amazing. You guys ask me that every time I'm here. How can you find me? And just tell people about it. Our students and our staff have just created a community that people know about. So,
Is enrollment open all year, or so
Yes.
you can come in at any time?
Yeah, anytime. We get in that traditional, hey, school starting, oh no, it's October, I can't start, but we are year-round. That's a little slower in summer, but we're year-round. Yeah, just tell them you didn't miss it. You can come.
That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Lonnie.
All right. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, that ends our awards and recognition, which brings us to our consent agenda. The consent agenda this time includes approval of minutes from our regular board meeting on September 9th, vouchers and payroll approval, personnel report, and required disclosures. Is there?
Recommend we approve, Madam President.
Thanks,
Second.
Noah. Thanks, Ann. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Dr. Daniel, did you have anything about the personnel report?
I do not.
No?
Thank
Okay. All right, that brings us to our first agenda item. Steve, can you do A?
Yes.
Thank you.
It is recommended the board approve the acceptance of the 2024-2025 K-12 robotics competition grant in the amount of $25,000. The district will engage all 5 comprehensive high schools in the first of Indiana robotics competitions during this current academic year through the aid of this grant. The grant is from the Indiana Department of Education as a result of a state law which is intended to expand opportunities to increase interest and improve skills in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics through participation in competitive robotics programs. And we have 2 people here to answer any questions about this grant. Matt Schiebel is the Executive Director of Safety and Community Partnerships, and Sarah McClure, Manager of Learning Technology.
Thanks, Steve. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Second.
Thanks, Jen. Thanks, Julie. Any questions for Matt or Sarah?
Is it my understanding that the state of Indiana is a leader in robotics competitions in the country?
We're trying to get there. I think some of the other states, particularly Texas, has a lot more. We really don't have a bunch in Northeast Indiana, so the fact that they're trying to bring this more to a statewide perspective is a great thing. I think this competition grant's only been available from the IDOE for the last 2 years. And so if you think about it, robotics, the first robotics, which is really kind of the Cadillac of robotics programs, is an expensive program. You can see that this $25,000 grant is a entry fee grant. And so the entry fees for these competitions sometimes range from $4,000 to $6,000 a single competition. And so
Per entrant, right?
Say again?
Per entrant, right?
Per entry, per per entry, correct. So most of our robotics teams will do 2 competitions, and then if they qualify for state or national, those are additional funds. And so what's really cool about robotics and FWCS right now is when you think about the cost of this, like the average budget for robotics a single year is between $20,000 and $25,000. 3 years ago, the only robotics team in Allen County was Homestead High School. Nobody else had a robotics team. Then we had 3 years ago, Northside came on with the help of SDI. Last year, Snyder came on with the help of medical informatics engineering. And then we've really been blessed that Doug Horner with medical information engineering got hooked. And so he has agreed to sponsor the remaining 3 teams. So it's phenomenal and almost unheard of that FWCS will have 5 FIRST robotics team. And what he's really done is kind of ensure that whatever funding gaps exist, he's going to be able to help us out so all 5 of our teams can compete. In fact, he has organized a competition, what we call a rookie build competition on October 24th at Electric Works for all 5 of our teams to get some practice. And he is actually building a competition field at his property in Electric Works so that teams can actually come and practice at a life-size field. It's phenomenal. He hosts now a weekly Zoom for his business as well as robotics partners around the state. So this is a really great opportunity, and it's a twofold. It's a win-win, right? Because our kids win because this is really top-rate competition, but businesses win. I mean, the sponsors of these businesses are recruiting these kids to be members of their workforce down the road. So I'm really excited about it.
So is this the maximum amount for this grant?
Yeah, so we do want to give kudos to Sarah McClure because she wrote the grant, her first time writing the grant, and she got the maximum amount. We are probably going to have to give a small portion of it back. As I read the fine print, the first-time robotics teams get $5,000 each. Existing teams get $3,500. So I was hoping we were going to be able to give each team $5,000, but it looks like 3 of our teams will get $5,000. The other will get $35,000. It's a reimbursement grant, so we pay out the money first, and then the money comes back to us. So I'll make sure that we take the right amount of money.
To your point originally, this is on average the cost of one entry to one competition.
Is $4,000 to $6,000. Yeah, so this will cover one. We are also working on some other funding sources. So obviously you have the traditional fundraising methods. I also have Mitch Shepard working on Don Wood Foundation. They're going to wrap all 5 teams into one grant application, and those awards could be anywhere between $12,000 and $15,000 a team. So if
let's say we have Southside, this is their first year, right? Mm-hmm. And they use this $5,000 grant to get the entry into this competition.
Yep.
And they do so well. They go from here. Do they go on to state, or do they go on to another one?
They go on to state first, and then they can qualify for nationals, which is what happened with Snyder last year. They qualified for state.
Well, we're going to have another $5,000 need for state, potentially another $5,000 or more need. I'm sure that doesn't.
That's why we're lucky we have medical informatics engineering, because that's who helped us get to state last year and to nationals. Yes, big thanks.
When and where is state?
That's a good question. I think it's Lawrence. It's Indianapolis, I believe.
Find out, could you just let it,
Yeah, I can find out when all the competitions will be.
Yeah, when you get the information,
Yeah,
just let us know.
I would be happy to do that. None of them are in Fort Wayne. We're hoping at some point in the future to get one of those regional competitions to be at Fort Wayne. I know Dave West at Northside has expressed interest, and he did a rookie build last year. In the north side. I think 1 or 2 of you I may have run into there. So we'd like to get it. And now that we've got 5 FWCS teams that'll be in robotics, it would behoove us to get a local competition, because really these competitions end up usually being a weekend. They usually load in on a Friday night. Competitions are Saturday, Sunday, and then they come back Sunday afternoon, Sunday night. So it's a long and lengthy process. We're really fortunate that the warehouse is giving us trucks to move all of our equipment, so that's an expense that the teams don't have. So it's like everything else in FWCS, right? Everybody pitches in, whether it's the school or the warehouse.
It's a great thing to visit Fort Wayne. How many kids are involved in this per school roughly?
Yeah, that's a good question. Varies by team. You really need probably, 10's a good sweet spot, but I think some of our teams are growing to 20. It's like everything else. You have to build your program. Sometimes too many cooks in the kitchen type of thing, but we don't ever want to turn away kids to do it. The most important thing really is trying to get local engineers to be sponsors, mentors on the team. So that's kind of our push right now, is making sure that we have sponsors. And they don't necessarily have to be engineers. Auto mechanics make great people for robotics competition. So we're looking for parents to be involved too.
Great. That's exciting.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Matt?
Thanks.
Thanks, Matt.
I did want to
Yeah.
plug too, while I was up here, just for a second, the jazz kitchen thing. Don't let them fool you. There was only 7 musicians there, so Dr. Fay and I went down to watch it. The jazz kitchen is the premier spot in Indiana if you want to go listen to live jazz. There were only 7 musicians on stage, and 3 of them were FWCS students, and the house was sold out. I had my eye on the next group up, which was professional musicians, and I was having a fun time watching them laugh and smile and listen to the kids, because they were amazing. The talent is crazy. And one of the things you've got coming up, maybe by the end of the year, is we've already recorded through another project with Surac Foundation, where Dr. Fay has us producing a best of FWCS high school music project. So 2 of the kids that were up there, and Liam as well, we have already recorded the jazz combos from Northside and Snyder at Sweetwater Sound. Did a 7-hour session with the 2 of them, and so we'll have some good music for you to hear. But not only from those schools, all 5 of our high schools. Look for that probably at the end of the year, because that's a lengthy process. But again, people in our community stepping up to give our kids experiences that nobody else has.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
They also give you a play with a professional trumpet player, so I mean, they have the films.
That's awesome. Cool. Thanks. All right. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right. Next up, we have special education, Part B. Tony, can you do that one?
Yes.
Thank you.
It is recommended that the board approve the acceptance of special education fiscal year 25 611 and 619 grants from the Indiana Department of Education for the school year 2025-2026 for Fort Wayne Community Schools. The Part B special education 611 grant amount is $9,568,768 for the 25-26 school year. The preschool special education 619 grant is $330,614. Funds are used to support the salary and fringe of approximately 130 staff members. These non-competitive grants are in addition to the Special Education Foundation payment, and Dr. Nikki Sprunger, Assistant Superintendent of Diverse Learners, oversees the grant and will be available to answer questions.
Great, thank you. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Second.
Thanks, Tony. Thanks, Ann. Any questions for Dr. Sprunger? No.
This goes pre-K through 12 then?
Yes.
So how many kids are we touching roughly?
I would say we're going to have around 6,000 students in special education at our December 1 count. That is our official count.
Is that lower, higher?
Higher.
Any other questions? Okay. Thanks, Dr. Sprunger. All those in favor? Aye. We'll give Noah a chance to.
Usually can go.
No, you're fine. Did you, we took a vote while you
I'm
were
sorry, yes.
drinking. Okay, thank you. That's what I, Noah said.
All in favor?
Yes, all in favor. Aye, yes. Okay, thank you. Okay, so that puts us at the Lenovo Chromebooks. Julie, can you do that one?
Yep.
Thank you.
It's recommended that the board approve the purchase of Lenovo Chromebooks from Trafira of St. Paul, Minnesota for $1,865,721. The purchase of 4,349 Lenovo 300E G4 Chromebooks will allow us to expand our use of Chromebooks at Jefferson Kikianga, Lakeside Lane, Northwood, and Portage Middle Schools. These come with 4 years of accidental damage protection. Fort Wayne Community Schools was able to secure pricing from Trafera that is 26.5% below the Omnia Partners contract price. Indiana law does not require public bidding for purchases made at or below approved cooperative purchasing agencies and/or GSA pricing. Funding will come from the Common School Fund loan and the School Technology Advancement Account and the Education Fund. And Kevin Grubel, Director of Technology, is available to answer any questions.
Thanks, Julie. Is there a motion on the floor?
So approved.
Second.
Thanks, Julie. Thanks, Noah. Any questions for Kevin?
One for probably Rosie. Are we getting the Common School Loan Grant again this year?
Okay,
So
they
that's
just put
Technology.
it out.
They just put it
That'll
out.
be coming probably the next board meeting.
Okay.
Will that be able to pay for these, or is it too?
This is probably the one that we received in the spring.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right. Next up, the sale of 3810 Sandpoint. Noah?
Sure, it's recommended the board approve the disposal by sale of 3810 Sandpoint Road, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46809. Fort Wayne Community Schools does not anticipate any future need to use a small tract of vacant land which requires ongoing maintenance. The parcel is located at the northwestern corner of Sandpoint Road and Ardmore Avenue, immediately north of the former site of Elmhurst High School. Having received 2 appraisals, FWCS will publish notice of the sale on its website and send notice by certified mail to all abutting landowners as required by Indiana Code 36-1-11-5. Thereafter, Fort Wayne Community Schools will sell the property to the highest and best qualified offer, and Darren has this here to answer our questions.
Thanks, Noah. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved. Second.
Thanks, Jen. Thanks, Ann. Any questions for Darren?
Do you think the Corey will be interested in this piece or not?
They may be, but they're not a budding owner to it.
What's the approximate square footage of this parcel? You know?
It's probably about a half an acre, third to a half of an acre. Yeah, it's just land.
Is it right along the corner?
Yeah, it's right on the corner. I think we purchased it maybe 20, 22 years ago.
All right. Anything else? Thanks. Thanks, Darren. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right. We'll do the next one.
You gonna put a bid in for that, Maria? Just, sentiment's sake?
I'm
your name on it?
I'm gonna pass on that one, Julie. Thank you for asking. It is recommended, I'm sorry.
I could too.
Well, there you go. It is recommended that the board approve the appointment of architectural engineering services for the following project: Wayne High School Kitchen and Cafeteria Renovation Project, Design Collaborative, Inc., and Fordran, maybe, and Associates Professional Food Service Design, our architect and engineer. Looks like the fee there is $448,000, and then for design, looks like $77,600. Total estimated construction budget, $7.3 million and $1.7 million. Indiana law requires that projects over $100,000 make use of a registered architect or a professional engineer for developing plans and specifications. Project architects and engineers need to be approved now to allow sufficient time for planning and bidding of the projects. The recommendation includes fixed fees and the design and professional food service design contracts. Funding will be from the Nutrition Services Fund, and project specifications require the work to be complete by July 25th, 2025, and Darren is still here to answer our questions. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved. Second.
Thanks, Ann. Thanks, Jen. Any questions for Darren on this? Awesome. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Jen, did you want to do the board policies?
The Policy Committee recommends that the full board update 5 financial policies, adopt a policy about electronic payments, and revise the non-discrimination and equitable education opportunity policies. The committee met and reviewed changes recommended by the business office to the following policies: purchasing, facilities planning, funding from grants, gifts, grants, and donations, and payments for goods and services. Committee also reviewed the proposed adoption of a new policy, receipt of electronic payments. These changes, these changes address recommendations made by the State Board of Accounts and clarify the thresholds for the approval of various financial transactions. Additionally, at the request of this board, the committee reviewed proposals for a district-wide equity policy and recommends updating the non-discrimination and equitable education opportunities policy to accomplish that goal. Red line versions of the policy were provided to the board in advance of the meeting. The public may view the board bylaws and policies on the FWCS website. David Amon, Dr. Deborah Faye Williams Robbins, or Rosemary Shipman will answer any of our questions.
Thanks, Jen. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Second.
Thanks, Ann. Thanks, Tony. Any questions for David, Dr. Robbins, or Rosie? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. Okay. The next one is public hearing on the 2025 budgets, capital project plans, and the school bus replacement plan. Public budget presentation was made at the September 9th, 2024 Board of School Trustees meeting. All board adopted funds and proposed budgets were discussed, and estimated tax rates were reviewed. The notice for the capital projects plan and the bus replacement plan were properly advertised on September 9th, 2024 on the Indiana Gateway and the FWCS website. According to Indiana law, the school corporation must conduct a public hearing on budgets, the 3-year capital projects plan, and the 5 years of the bus replacement plan. A hearing is scheduled for this evening's meeting of the Board of School Trustees. The intent of the hearing is to allow board members the opportunity to receive community input. Board members will be asked to vote on these items on October 28, 2024. This is the appropriate time for members of the public to address the board regarding the 2025 budgets, the 25 through 27 capital projects plan, and the 25 through 29 school bus replacement plan. If anyone here would like to comment, please come to the microphone. We ask speakers to limit remarks to 1 3-minute session. Okay. All right, as there's no one who wishes to speak, the hearing is now closed. And we don't need a motion in a second. Yep, okay, good. Okay, that is all of our new business, which brings us to reports. And tonight we have the Jim Kelly Career Pathway Center update highlights the activities that middle school students explore as they connect to high-demand career fields that are available right here in Allen County. These students experience a glimpse of the skills needed to be successful in those career fields and spark interest in pursuing the pathway of their choice within our schools of success. This update will also touch on the 6th grade experience and how staff are able to experience this program as well. Questions will be answered by Jesse Webb, Director of Career and Technical Education. Hello, Jesse.
Good evening, Board of Trustees, colleagues, and FWCS stakeholders. I'm Jesse Webb, Director of Career and Technical Education for Fort Wayne Community Schools. Here to give an update on our outstanding occupation exploration program that we have for our 7th and 8th grade students as we partner with the Boys and Girls Club of Fort Wayne and their Jim Kelly Career Pathway Center. So the goal of this program is to give our middle school students the opportunity to explore careers through real-life experiences that are connected to high-demand careers available here in Allen County. With this experience, they get a glimpse of the skills needed to be successful in the pathways available in our schools of success. So here, you get a glimpse of what our 8th grade experience entails. So we have hands-on activities in automotive careers, manufacturing, and medical health science careers. So students get to use a sim spray machine to paint a car door. They get to put on a VR headset and change oil in an engine. They get to service a commercial airplane. They can sit in a knee operation. There's like 30 other activities that they can do on those headsets. We tell them that they have to do the oil change, and they need to do the commercial airplane service, and then they get to pick one of their choice after they're done. In the other room, we have surgical laparoscopic surgery simulators, and we do phlebotomy. So every student gets to draw blood, colored water, out of a rubberized arm as an 8th grader. Great experience. I'll tell you, we go through about 3 or 4 arms every school year. So
How many kids pass out doing that?
we've only had one student last year that said that she didn't want to do it. Everybody else, they come in, they say, I don't want to do that, but then they end up doing it. I think we had one student that kind of turned pale. But that was it. In our 7th grade experience in the spring, students get to do a construction trades activity where they take 2 blocks of wood, install a hinge, and then remove the hinge. They get to program RVR cars using block programming. And probably the most favorite activity of all is our welding simulation. It's probably the most competitive, and I will tell you that our female students usually perform the best in this. And I think that's because of their attention to detail and their patience that they have.
Anecdotally, Jesse, I have found female students in elementary school kick boys' butts in the event of tug of war.
That could be. I will say none of this is possible without our great transportation department being able to transport students back and forth every Tuesday and Thursday. As you can see here, here's an example of what our daily schedule looks like. We started on September 10th, as you can see, and we bring 3 schools through every day on those Tuesdays and Thursdays. We put a max number of students for every group at 30. So they get about an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes. And we split them into 3 groups, no larger than 10. And they rotate through the 3 different stations that we have. So they get about, on an ideal situation, 20 to 30 minutes in each rotation to experience those activities.
Why just those 2 days?
That's just the partnership that we have, the agreement that we have with the Jim Kelly Center, because they have other groups that operate on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If there's some extra days that we need throughout the semester, we usually go in probably on a Monday.
So this is not an exclusive relationship with that facility?
No,
There are other students from other districts also going?
Not really other districts, other groups within Allen County, like home builders, youth home builders,
Okay.
and other groups. But we don't have any other school districts that are partnering with them currently. So I would say that the key to this being effective is the small group sizes, being able to maintain 30 or less students at a time to help move those students through. And I will think that you will see in this video of students talking about their experiences that we are moving in the right direction.
This is our second full year of doing this?
This is our second full year. Yep.
What they're doing here is showcasing us careers, and I think it's really great and helpful. I really like the variety of workshops and the different experiences and careers that I can search and explore about. I think the activities are fun, and I think overall it's like a good experience. I get to learn new things as well as having fun. I could see what I'd be interested in, because these activities, I get to learn more about certain jobs. After high school, I can study them and like research them and see if they would be like something I might want to do. My favorite activity here is actually the medical one that we did today, and I think so because it let us go through multiple different types of medical procedures, and I think that was really awesome. My favorite activity that I've done over the last 2 years is probably the welding. I think it was fun to have that challenge to do against everyone else. This experience is more visual. It allows you to see what's actually happening or what would actually happen if you were to join the workforce or the real world, rather than just to learn about it and take a test. When you do the hands-on, I feel like it sticks in my brain better because I'm actually doing it. But as if like papers or like just reading something, I feel like it just like brushes off me and I don't really like pay attention or I get distracted more easily. But when doing hands-on things, I feel like I'm more focused on one thing and it just sticks in my brain better. I think that when I get to high school, I'm going to do the Career Academy for the nice experience and for my future. My absolute favorite thing about the Kelly Center is probably that I get to learn new things, like working on like the robotics. I learned how to like do coding, and I learned how to like draw blood as well. And it's just, I get to learn new things. I think it's different because I feel like you can actually get to do it and like real experience of it. I don't think this has really chosen a career for me, but I do think it has given me multiple options for the future of my careers. If you want to learn more about maybe what you want to do in the future, then come here and see if you would like it and see what you might want to do. It helped me think more about the industrial workforce, and I think it's really fun. You should try it.
So after their visits, every student goes through and does a survey. So you can see some of the responses from students last year, some of our 7th and 8th graders. They thought overall it's an amazing experience. I think it was so fun. I love the oil change VR and the blood drawing. So you hear that over and over. And you hear students when they come in and they get ready to leave that it's not their typical field trip. They come in thinking that we're just going to listen to somebody talk to us, but then at the end when they're getting ready to leave, they're like, can we stay longer? Like, can we come back and do more? So we have to explain that, yes, as part of our partnership with the Boys and Girls Club, you can come back to that facility after school and participate a little bit more, go more in depth.
How many kids do we have taking advantage of that program, do we know?
That I don't know, but I can find out that number. But I think it was, I want to say last year we had about 100 students that came back overall throughout the year. So in the 23-24 school year, we had 4,200 students that went through the program, and about 200 staff members visited the program. So various middle school and elementary staffs went through the same experience that our students get to go through. That allows them to be able to talk to our students, build relationships, and connect what is happening, why they're gone, how do we connect that with what they're learning in the classroom. Currently, we've had 39 staff members that were in our new teacher orientation that went through it in July. We've had over 650 8th graders already that have experienced this activity. We're looking to get more staff members through during the school year. And then what we had kind of mentioned at the beginning, we are also adding a 6th grade experience in our partnership with Parkview Health. They are bringing their mobile simulation lab to the middle schools, so we don't have to go to them. That cuts down on that transportation barrier. And we piloted this with Lakeside and Blackhawk in the springtime, and it really, really went well. So being able to bring it to every middle school this year starting in October. I think it starts next week. I think we have our first visits. But they'll go through 3 rotations, similar to what they do at the Jim Kelly Center. They'll learn CPR. They'll learn about kind of the back of the ambulance. They'll talk about the different heart diseases and heartbeats and all that stuff that paramedics kind of observe while they're on the job. And then that 3rd rotation, it may not look the same for every middle school, depending on who's available from Parkview. And they'll talk about the other kind of departments and careers that are related to healthcare. So I think that that's a really neat kind of addition that we made this year in that 3rd rotation. In our pilot, it was adult CPR and then infant CPR. And we didn't want to double that up, so we're going to talk about other health careers like X-ray tech and all that stuff.
So these are Parkview employees that are?
These will be Parkview employees that bring that simulation lab out, and they'll be there from probably, I would say, 9 to 2 on a daily basis that they bring it out. I think there's 15 days that we have mapped out throughout the fall and spring.
So if IU Health wanted in on this deal?
Yeah, I mean, as long as they have a simulation lab and they want to bring it to us, yeah. I mean, we like to play with everybody. So we want to be equal opportunity players. And I think the more that you put students through experience-wise, the more that they kind of figure out what it is that they're interested in.
How do you work the staffing level at the Kelly facility with only 2 days of operation? Are there instructors there on those 2 days, not there on the other 3? I know Nick is there with an assistant, but I don't understand how that works.
So we have one full-time position that we have retired teachers that work for us that have been hired. So we run 3 to 4.
Volunteers.
They're not volunteers. We have 3 to 4 employees that make up that full-time position. So when you run them 2 days a week, you can do that all year long and still fall within one full-time employee.
Okay.
So we have Mr. Scott Brown, who was a retired industrial arts teacher and new tech teacher. Mr. Steve Smethers, old Northside teacher. We had Mr. Chris Schwarzkopf, but he has since retired again. We have Mr. Brad Samuels, who's new this year, just retired from Blackhawk Middle School. We have Mr. Ernie Bojrab that is coming back into helping teach. And then we have Mr. Steve Ankenbrook as well.
So you got some good folks there.
We have some really, really good guys that have really, I would say, taken this bull by the horns and really, they come up with something new, I would say, every week. It started out where they were just in front talking to the students, and then week 2, they have a PowerPoint visual up there so that they're able to talk about it. And they go and do, I would say, YouTube videos before as they're presenting, just to give students the background that they need. And they talk about their own experiences, especially with like the laparoscopic surgery simulator and all that stuff. So it's really cool to see how they've grown just in the year.
Samuel should be good at the blood drawing.
Yeah.
For all of those who don't know, I think Brad Samuels is like Fort Wayne's top blood donator, or the whole Fort Wayne area or Northeast Indiana area. So he should be good at that.
For platelets, yes. Yeah. I learned that 2 weeks ago. Yes. Very good. So if anybody would like a tour, feel free to email me or contact me. We would love to get community members kind of going through. I know Nick Gray at the Jim Kelly Career Pathway Center is willing to give tours as well. I think the best part is when you tour while students are there and see them in action. That's the best time. So
And that's usually Tuesdays and Thursdays?
Tuesdays and Thursdays between, let's say, I would say 8 o'clock and 2 o'clock.
I'd like to compliment Jesse as well. You know, he took a program that was non-existent and he had to piece it together. And knowing some of those gentlemen that he mentioned, I'd say that they are very appreciative of his leadership. And it shows what happens when you allow flexibility, because they can come and go, and they work together, and they solve their work schedules and their hours, because, yeah, I'm going to head to see my grandson in San Diego, or...
That's where Mr. Brown is right now.
That's where he is right
So,
now. Yeah.
he was gone last week, so we had our two newbies in with Steve and Steve. And then I think Tuesday we have Mr. Ankenbrook is out, Scott is still out. And we usually run 4 in the fall semester, just because you have to have that extra eye when you're doing phlebotomy. So I'll step in, but we'll also have our middle school advisors that bring the students, so they'll help to kind of sit in there as well.
Then I also would like to say that when Dr. Robbins and I both visited, went to a national conference of boys club and girls clubs, and you hear all the, I'll say, phenomenal programs that exist nationwide. I don't think I saw anyone with this type of program. So I'm waiting for our boys club, girls club to be a national model. Awarded that, should have been last year, but anyway, with what's going on, when you think of that, 2,000 8th graders, 2,000 7th graders, and now we're connecting to the 6th graders, it feeds our schools of success very well. So thank you, Jesse, for what you're doing.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Jesse.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Good presentation. Okay, that brings us to board member comments.
Well, last year I actually visited the Kelly Center and had a chance to change oil. I could do that with a real car. Struggled a little bit with the technology. I'm not sure if I would have been paid for my work. It was an interesting experience, and it's a great facility. And this week I'm going to be one of our principals for a day, and looking forward to that opportunity, along with other people in the community who are going to be having really that opportunity to see what we do on a daily basis in our schools. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Well, I was going to say no comment, but yes, I am also doing principal for a day on Wednesday, so I look forward to being in the schools. But I've enjoyed also going to the iRead celebrations that we've had and getting to see a lot of the teachers, and just want to congratulate them on all the work they're doing, and hopefully they're enjoying the fall break today. So,
thanks.
That's it.
There was an interesting study that came out by ProPublica about the Universal Voucher Program in Arizona. And I'll just preface by saying a couple years ago, Arizona started a universal, so all students are eligible, homeschool or in school. And like in Indiana, they sold it as a way of saving money because the voucher was not as much as spending for the cost of educating a student in public school. But it kind of blew a hole in their budget because they didn't anticipate the number of students who were already in private school and their parents were paying tuition, that they would want to get a voucher. So it's kind of a cautionary tale, I think, for Indiana, because Indiana, this is something that our legislator is talking about, and even though it has put a hole in the budget in Arizona, so far their legislature has really refused to do anything about it. But the interesting thing about this study that came out from ProPublica, and if anybody follows them, they're doing a series this year throughout the year on different aspects of this voucher program, because it is the first extensive universal one in the country. But anyways, what they did this last study is they looked at Maricopa County, which is the largest county in Arizona, and looked at all the zip codes and the income levels of the families of the students involved. And what they found was and perhaps not so surprising, is that in lower income zip codes, vouchers were used the least, and in higher income zip codes, vouchers were used the most. And of course, we could probably brainstorm and find the reasons for that, but the main reasons were that lower income families couldn't afford the extra costs, transportation, meals, uniforms, in some cases the expectation that you get involved in fundraising for the school. But the other interesting thing was that, of course, private schools are not located in lower income areas, and so it is not as accessible. And we've seen in Indiana where our voucher system has, over the years, become more students of wealth are now being covered, and I think we need to pay attention to what's going on in Arizona because, like I said, we have legislators that are considering the same type of program, and I think it's a cautionary tale budget-wise, but I just don't think it's good public policy to create a program that seems more accessible to, if your goal is to help all students and your goal is to build the workforce in Indiana, which is now one of our major goals, that it's a program that's not accessible really to all students. And I don't think that, to me, that's just not good public policy. But that's all.
Thanks, Julie.
Piggying back on your fine comments, Julie, our friends at the Journal-Gazette wrote, just this weekend or today, public schools serve 93% of Hoosier school children, but only receive 64% of new educational funding added in the fiscal year 2024. In private schools that educate just 7% of state students, they accepted a whopping 36% of the new education money. So that's been something known to us, and something we've been tracking, because people who previously weren't accepting or taking vouchers are now taking full advantage of it. And with a $1 billion shortfall in Medicaid funding at the State House, this is going to put pressure on us all, I believe, coming up in 2025. So I wasn't going to talk about that, but since you brought it up, let's go for it, right? I, too, look forward to serving as principal for the day at my original alma mater, Glenwood Park Elementary. So going back to where I began my educational career. And then I also, on behalf of our good friend Raleigh Booker, need to stand out and congratulate the Southside Archers for their exciting 14-13 win for the first time since 2013 over the Bishop Lures Knights on a 19 seconds to go blocked extra point. Talk about exciting. So one of the things is most people know I'm a Snyder graduate and fan, but when you sit in these chairs, no matter who you represent, you're representing the whole district. So very proud of the Archers and Coach Goodwell. So congratulations. That's it.
Thanks, Noah.
Can I mention one more thing? I forgot, I wanted to congratulate Southside also for beating Snyder in the first city girls flag football championship. And I believe all 5 high schools had girls flag football teams this year. And to me, that's just as exciting.
I will too congratulate the Southside Lady Archers in too on that behalf.
Snyder's taking it on the chin.
Yeah, once in a while.
Well, you stole my comment then. No, that's all right. Yes, absolutely. Congratulations to that. That's an exciting new program that is starting, and I hope that more and more will get involved in the programming. I will be a principal for the day on Wednesday at Whitney Young, so I get to get out there and see all those young, exciting little kids and those who are still excited to go to school. Other than that, just to piggyback on a few of Julie's comments, to couple with, I think you have to read that article in the paper and pay attention to, they talk about how many people are using the voucher in private schools. But what they fail to, and there is a small little paragraph after that, it talks about the increased enrollment I've been studying the enrollment of our private schools since the voucher limit was raised, and I'm not seeing a huge enrollment change. So while more people are using it, the enrollment is not necessarily going up. In fact, in a few of our high schools, it's going down. So that does just prove that point, that more people are using it, but those are the people who are already attending those schools. And with that, in all of our budget constraints of us trying to do the very best that we can with, we've got our budget out there for you all, being good stewards of our stakeholders' money and putting them towards those who need it most, which are our kids, and then our teachers and those who educate our kids. We're doing our very best that we can, even though we're getting punched left and right each year. So please pay attention to what's going on in your legislature and, step up, because I believe that the universal voucher could be the worst return on Indiana's investment.
I agree.
So.
Thanks, Jen.
Thanks.
I have no comments this evening. Dr. Daniel?
So I have three. First of all, Waynedale Elementary will have Senator Rotz as the principal of the day. So afterwards, we hope we can take him to AMP Lab and perhaps even if we can get him to a 3DE event. So he is the chairman on the Senate side for the Education Committee. So that's a great thing to have him. I also would like to send let everyone know, and we need to congratulate, we have a new doctor in the house, Dr. Ramona Coleman. So congratulations. So it's, you want to say anything about it? So she's an Indiana State University person, so it's great to hear.
So again, just want to thank everyone, starting with Dr. Daniel, for the support that I received as I was working through this process, because it has been a journey, personally and professionally. I have a 10-year-old daughter and a granddaughter. And for my family, especially, those that know me very closely know that I speak about my family a lot, and education is very important to my family. And so this is another opportunity, or was another opportunity for me to show that you don't ever get too old to stop learning. My dissertation is a mouthful. The short part of it is the perceptions of professional learning, because that's what I do, that's what I love, that's where my passion is. And the study is based upon an urban school district, that urban school district being South Bend Corporation, because I was not allowed to do the study within my own district. And so with that, it's the full title is The Perceptions of Professional Learning, Discovering the Impact of Defined Learning's Professional Development on Teachers' Practice in an Urban District at the secondary level. And this study was based upon 3 middle schools in South Bend and 9 teachers that agreed to participate in this study. So again, just thank you for the opportunity, and I'm glad that it's done.
That's a huge relief, isn't it? Yes. So well earned. Congratulations. And I'm going to defer to the next comment to Rosie.
I am so excited to say that this afternoon at 1:30, we have tried since 2018 to raise our Standard & Poor's rating. And this afternoon I learned that our long-term rating is a AA+, and it has always been a AA+, but our short-term has always been just an A+. We moved it to a AA- this time, and it's because of all of the hard work of the business office. It's our budgetary, the way we budget, and the fact that we controlled and uncontrollable in their eyes, which was our enrollment this time. We increased our enrollment, and that gains us, because we are 99% in our education fund dependent on that. Because we increased our enrollment, that was one controllable that they said was so exciting. And I said, I see a projection of actually increasing enrollment over the next couple of years, and that was one of the factors that they gave us the higher rating. So we need that higher rating.
Good? Okay.
Congratulations.
That's awesome. Yes, congratulations. And congratulations, Ramona. I hope that you find something amazing to do with your free time after you recover and take a couple weeks to sleep. So, yes. I too will be a principal for the day at Wayne High School on Wednesday, so looking forward to that. And I think that might actually be all that I have tonight. So thank you to everyone. Hope you enjoyed your fall break. And was there a vote to adjourn?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.